does not single-handedly have the ability to set what you would call the human resources policies, the hiring and firing policies in the federal government. That view is wrong. The truth of the matter is that the U.S. president actually enjoys broad statutory authority to prescribe the rules of the civil service. If you want the citation, turns out the president, and I'm going to read from the U.S. Code, may prescribe such regulations for the admission of individuals into the civil service of the executive branch that will best promote the efficiency of that service. That's 5 U.S.C. 3301. Now, most federal employees work in what's called the competitive service. Well, it turns out the rules governing the competitive service for the U.S. president are even broader, pursuant to 5 U.S.C. 3302, that says the U.S. president has similar power to, I quote the law, prescribe rules governing the competitive service, which includes most federal bureaucrats. What does that mean? It's like the equivalent of working at a company. The HR department does not actually determine the rules without reporting into the CEO. It works the same way for the U.S. federal government as well. Well, that leads to a second myth that's perpetuated itself in this discussion of how we take on the administrative state. So far we've established that the U.S. president has, pursuant to 5 U.S.C. 3302, sole authority to set the regulations, the rules governing the Office of Personnel Management, governing the competitive service. Well, the myth number 2 that's been taken for granted in our national history is that the President of the United States is limited in his ability to fire those employees, pursuant to a part of the U.S. Code known as 5 U.S.C. 7513A, which creates so-called for-cause limitations, which say that the U.S. President cannot fire a bureaucrat unless it is what you call for cause, breaking the law, doing something egregious. That's been the status quo in Washington, D.C. Turns out that is actually a myth. Turns out large-scale reductions in force are not covered